Good morning, everyone. Today is Thursday, April 8th, 2021. My name is Karen Bodenschatz, and I serve as Associate Pastor at First Lutheran Church in Onalaska, Wisconsin. And this is my morning musing. So I just finished listening to a short podcast hosted by Brian McLaren with Jackie Lewis and Richard Rohr. If you don't know these names, these three are great thinkers in the church. They just have a way of thinking about how we are in the world and how we are, especially people of Jesus in the world, that I love listening to them. And they gathered under the topic, and this is the name of the podcast, Learning How to See. Now, if you've listened to me at all, you are not surprised that this podcast caught my attention. What it turned out to be was a 6-part exploration of the biases that we are inherently endowed with as human beings. The things that shape how we see and interact with the world, what we trust and what we don't trust. Y'all, it took my breath away, and it made me uncomfortable and angry, and it comforted me because it was so true for all people, including me. These conversations made me look at the way I see the world in a deeper way and reminded me that I have so much work to do so that I can see more clearly, so that I can see with the eyes of Jesus, which is the ultimate goal. And because I am me, I've decided to take a look at all of these with you. Yay! And so on Thursdays, I will share with you 1 or 2 biases, and maybe we can learn together. Maybe this will spark some conversation about how we can be more fully followers of Christ, how we can embrace our values without diminishing someone else's values, how we can be authentically ourselves, our wholehearted selves, without diminishing or demeaning other people for being their true selves. Hopefully it will help us all grow in faith and in love for one another. So Brian McLaren was very clever and created an alliterative list of biases, and they all begin with C. The first one of these biases is called confirmation bias, and I'm going to read to you the definition that he gives to that. He says, this is our story or system. Let's start again. This is the definition. Confirmation bias is because our story or system excludes what doesn't fit, because we judge new information based on the ease with which it fits in with the only standards that we have, which is old information and trusted authorities. Basically, what he's saying is, anytime any information comes at us, we judge it based on how easily it fits in with our own worldview, with what we know and what we trust. This is a large part to do with the ways our brains work. The main purpose of the brain is to keep us safe and comfortable. And so change, or anything that threatens that, is rejected, or a story is created to make it false or not important, or to make it fit into our story. So it'll morph it. Suddenly it gets twisted. We see this all the time, right? Like we'll twist something that we hear or that we know, and we'll make it fit into our own understanding. It's the strangest thing, but it is so deeply embedded into our way of being as human beings. It's part of our evolution. It's part of a carryover from, days gone by when we really had to protect ourselves. And it's so embedded in who we are as human beings, not just who we are as me as Karen or you as whoever you are, that we don't always notice this bias at work. And it's what leads to entrenchment, the entrenchment we see right now in our society. It also makes it very difficult for us to see anything that is other, to hear or to believe the stories of other people that differ from our own. So I've realized the way that this bias is at work in my life is mostly in the political realm, and even in the realm of theology or church. I am more apt to not listen or to dismiss something if it comes from a leader of the other political party, especially one that I have deemed as untrustworthy, or from a church or a church body that I don't trust, or I believe is wrong in their theology. There's another bias that addresses the political bias more deeply. But for me, I realize that I tend to believe and trust the people in my tribe, the people that hold my values. And then I often will move much more quickly to dehumanizing those who are on the other side because of this bias. So there is indeed lots of work to be done. I encourage you to download this podcast and to listen to it. It will challenge you. It will give you lots to think about. You may have to do what I did and listen to one and then wait a little while and then listen to another. But I hope you do. And I hope this starts some conversation among us as we seek to be better followers of Christ. Be well, friends. Be kind. Remember that Christ is with you.